Hello, we are Larry Riggs and Sandra Hellier Riggs, and we'll be talking today about advantages of online learning. We have a considerable amount of research and writing on the theory and practice of transformative learning and critical thinking. A weakness that we have found in the literature on transformative learning is that there are very few accounts of transformative pedagogy and its efficacy in specific courses. Moreover, there is a lack of specific accounts of and recommendations for transformative pedagogy in the online environment. This paper will be focused on strategies for fostering such learning and thinking in the specific online courses which we have actually taught. Transformative pedagogy, according to Mezirow, encourages students to look at their preconceived assumptions through pedagogical practices that present them with an activating event that refutes or challenges their assumptions, forcing them to seek additional information and eventually to undergo a change of attitude. Instructors who teach online classes can create ways to move students from their preconceived perceptions by creating a safe environment for student interactions online, providing students with an activating event that encourages them to rethink their preconceived perceptions, implementing teaching techniques that stimulate active participation, and using real-world issues that force students to look at and discuss online social inequities or other consequences of uncritical thinking. Cranton posited that there are different conditions and processes that are required to transform student learning beyond behaviorally active learning to truly cognitively active learning. One such condition is that students must be presented with a challenging dilemma or activating event that helps them recognize the limitations of their current knowledge. A second condition is that students must be given opportunities to identify and describe their assumptions or what they think of as current knowledge. Students need to be able to articulate where their assumptions originated through critical self-reflection and online discussion involving both the instructor and classmates. In online discussions, students must examine and respond to others' ideas. Finally, students can apply any new perspectives they have gained through the experience. Technology can develop reciprocity and cooperation among students through study groups, collaborative learning, group problem solving, and discussion forums. Instructors can use time-delayed exchanges and real-time conversations online to enrich learning by doing. Additionally, students seem more willing to disclose more information online, perhaps because of the anonymity that the online environment affords. Technology can increase time on task for students by making studying more efficient because the asynchronous element fits busy work and academic schedules. Technology-mediated pedagogy thus helps adapt instruction to both traditional and non-traditional students' needs. Using technology can also encourage self-reflection and self-evaluation by allowing students to revisit issues and assignments and respond to each other's discussion contributions. Two of the transformative strategies that will be described and evaluated in detail in this paper are listing the elements of transformative learning as explicit learning objectives in the course syllabi and rubrics for all assignments, and using weekly online discussion forums. We have found that including transformative learning in course objectives encourages instructors to keep in mind progress toward more reflective thinking and designing and evaluating assignments. It also makes students more aware of the need to practice and demonstrate reflective thinking in doing their work. A major benefit of the online discussion forums is that students quite often provide each other's activating events or challenges. Here too, instructors must design forum topics or issues that are likely to elicit engaged participation. As we use them, the discussion require each student to post both an initial response to the topics or prompts and a response to a classmate's initial post. The frequent online communication among students provides a supportive class community, which is the cornerstone for transformative learning because it fosters collaboration and presents students with differing opinions. Online communication, such as the forums, allows students greater time to prepare their thoughts more thoroughly than in face-to-face classes, which is beneficial for students who are shy, who may process information more slowly. We will describe and critique concrete pedagogical strategies that were used online to encourage students to challenge their basic assumptions.
I'm Sandy Hellier Riggs, and I teach in the psychology department. I teach both a child development course and an introductory psychology course. In the intro course, students go to campus to take all the exams in the testing lab. Everything else is done online. When students register for the introductory psychology class, they're given access to the ebook that is accessed within our course. My university uses a learning management system called Canvas for all online classes. Today, I'll focus on the content of the introductory psychology course. This is on screen now is the welcome page that students see when they first log into our class. The first assignment for students that's interactive is to have them all complete and post a video of themselves answering descriptive questions posed by me, and they must respond to at least 2 of their peers' videos. I divide the class into manageable groups so that students don't have to go through everyone's video to choose one that they want to respond to. So all students are apt to receive meaningful comments regarding the production. All of my students have weekly discussion forums in which, all of my classes have weekly discussion forums in which students post a response to question or questions regarding a concept in that week's chapter. An example is the following. That's the example of a discussion forum. I'll give you a chance to look at it. Students go to this website, they choose a toy, and they evaluate the appropriateness based upon motor skills and the abilities that the toys are designed to promote. Again, each is to respond to at least two other peers' posts. Since students have at least 1 week in which to complete the forums and written assignments, students have time to self-reflect and reach an understanding of the course material and to better articulate their opinions. That dialogue is critical to the success of transformative pedagogy because it facilitates students' collaboration and helps promote appreciation of differences. Another interactive assignment in my introductory psychology class is to have students post a question that they had about a concept in the chapter. This is called Ask Answer. A question that they had after they read the chapter, maybe a concept or something wasn't clear to them. Other students then answer the questions that are posted and explain the concept in a way that's easier for the person who didn't understand it to have a better concept of it. One of the major learning objectives for the introductory psychology course is for the students to apply the goals of psychology to a behavior that they would like to change. They choose the behavior at the beginning of the semester, and then they need to describe, explain, predict, and change the behavior. Over the course of the semester, students are required to submit 5 assignments to this end. There are ample opportunities for students to discuss their topic with me, with a teaching assistant, with their peer mentor, or they can visit the Psychology Resource Center for more assistance. Details for this assignment, including the specific instructions and grading rubrics, are available to students in the syllabus and within the course. And this is one of the examples that I have students do.
I'm Larry Riggs, and I taught an online 6-week interdisciplinary course on modernizing Europe and colonial and post-colonial Nigeria in the summer of 2014. In the summer of 2015, I taught the same course in the 3-week online format. This was a course that I had taught many times in the face-to-face full semester environment. The most important innovation for the online version of the course was the use of weekly discussion. I believe that this was a promising way to encourage transformative learning and critical thinking by requiring students to encounter, evaluate, and respond not only to readings and videos presenting different perspectives on ethnocentrism and colonialism, for example, but also to each other's initial posts. As it turned out, these discussion forums were far superior to the classroom discussions that had always been an important feature of the face-to-face versions of the course. Each student was required to post a reasoned, evidence-based, reflective response to a prompt designed to elicit critical thinking and to reply to another student's initial post. The rubric for discussion forum posts emphasized logical treatment of specific information and evidence of critical reflection. I wrote a comment on each of these posts. I found, somewhat to my surprise, that the quality of student interaction and of my interactions with the students was superior to what had been achieved in face-to-face versions of the course. All of the students consistently responded respectfully and reflectively to classmates' initial posts. My commentaries on the posts, which were visible to all of the students, gave me opportunities and the obligation to model critical thinking, point out and reward examples of transformative learning, and encourage students to push their thinking further. A second important adaptation in the online version of the course is the requirement of a weekly 300 to 500 word reflective essay on one of the course objectives specified for the week. These weekly objectives emphasize discovering the challenges inherent in the week's materials and articulating the impact of ideologies and styles of thought, for example, in historical processes. The weekly objectives were designed to help students move toward the overall course objectives, which explicitly prioritize critical thinking, awareness and tolerance of diversity, and transformative learning. Students were required to specify the weekly objective they were responding to and to reflect on how the week's materials had helped them to reach it. Here again, all the students were able to complete each essay satisfactorily. Some of the essays were truly excellent. The majority of them showed evidence of evolution in the students. Another fruitful innovation was the inclusion in the course syllabus of program objectives, objectives for my particular version of the course, a list of major themes or big ideas to be emphasized, essential questions to be reflected on, enduring understandings or takeaways that I wanted the students to retain. This enabled me to make the objectives themselves themes of each week's work and to ask the students to reflect on their own progress toward meeting the objectives. Again, the online format permitted me to communicate individually with every student each week and to expect significant weekly input from each student. This would be virtually impossible in the face-to-face format. In the discussion forums, as well as in exams and research papers, most students showed clear evidence of having recognized challenges to their previous thinking and of having adjusted to the challenges. Also, in the required end-of-semester reflection essays, 80% of the students were able to articulate specific ways in which the course had challenged and changed their thinking on significant social and historical issues. We believe that our strategies for pursuing transformative learning in the online environment have achieved some good results. We see both advantages and disadvantages in online teaching compared with the face-to-face format. On the whole, we find that the advantages are quite significant. In both research and practice, we continue to look for additional innovations and adaptations that will enhance online transformative learning.